Forbes' real-time snapshot kept Mark Zuckerberg in the top 10, with wealth tied mainly to Meta. This episode is not about admiring money for its own sake. It is a business case study. How the fortune was built, what assets drive it, what setbacks shaped it, and what a normal viewer can actually learn from it. Mark Zuckerberg built one of the most powerful network effect businesses ever created. Facebook began as a campus social product, but its deeper insight was identity. People behaved differently online when the network reflected their real social world. Once a network starts working, growth can feed on itself. More users create more connections. More connections create more reasons to return. More attention creates more advertising value. That loop became the foundation of Meta's fortune. Zuckerberg's biggest business moves included taking Facebook Mobile, buying Instagram, buying WhatsApp, and defending founder control through multiple shifts. Meta later made enormous investments in virtual reality, AI, and the metaverse. The setbacks are impossible to separate from the success. Privacy controversies, Cambridge Analytica, misinformation concerns, antitrust pressure, and Reality Labs' losses all show the cost of operating platforms at global scale. Publicly, Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan have committed major resources to philanthropy through the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative. His personal public image has also changed over time, from the hoodie-era founder to a more polished executive who appears more often in fitness, product, and AI contexts. The lesson is that distribution is power, but trust is the price. A platform that reaches billions has to earn legitimacy over and over again. The major business and asset map is Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Reality Labs, AI infrastructure. The publicly documented lifestyle angle is family philanthropy with Priscilla Chan, a more visible fitness and martial arts public profile, and a changing executive image. The main work principles are network effects, founder control, rapid product iteration, distribution power. The main setbacks and risks are privacy scandals, Cambridge Analytica, regulatory scrutiny, large metaverse losses. Now look at the fortune like an editor reading a balance sheet. The headline number is dramatic, but the mechanism matters more. Mark Zuckerberg's wealth is not sitting mostly as cash in a bank account. It is tied to ownership, market valuation, private company estimates, and assets that move as investors reassess the future. That means the fortune can change quickly, sometimes by billions in a day, without the person buying or selling anything. That is why the asset engine matters. In this case, the main map is Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Reality Labs, AI infrastructure. Each asset tells a different part of the story. Some create operating profit. Some create strategic control. Some create optionality, meaning they may not be the biggest source of wealth today, but they could matter more if the market shifts. There is also a timing lesson. Huge fortunes usually come from being early to a structural change and then staying exposed to it for a long time. The change might be electric transportation, search advertising, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, enterprise software, social networking, sports franchises, or global retail logistics. The public often sees the famous person after the outcome is obvious. The wealth was usually created years earlier, when the bet still looked uncertain. This is where the business map matters. The companies, products, and ownership stakes explain far more than the headline ranking. Viewers should understand the difference between salary, revenue, profit, ownership, and net worth. A billionaire ranking is not the same thing as cash. It is a mark-to-market estimate of claims on businesses and assets. The habit pattern is also worth separating from the mythology. The useful principles here are network effects, founder control, rapid product iteration, distribution power. These are not magic personality traits. They are repeatable work behaviors, choosing a hard problem, staying close to the product, using feedback, hiring strong people, managing risk, and making decisions with a longer time horizon than the average competitor. The lifestyle section should stay disciplined. The publicly documented angle is family philanthropy with Priscilla Chan, a more visible fitness and martial arts public profile, and a changing executive image. This belongs in the story because viewers expect it, but it should not become the story. The editorial framing is simple. Lifestyle shows what extreme wealth can buy, while the business engine shows how the wealth was created. The setback section is where the episode earns trust. The known risks and reversals include privacy scandals, Cambridge Analytica, regulatory scrutiny, large metaverse losses. These moments matter because wealth stories become misleading when they only show victories. Every empire has pressure points: regulation, execution, public trust, changing technology, debt, competition, succession, or consumer backlash. For ordinary viewers, the lesson is not to imitate billionaire behavior out of context. Most people cannot copy the capital base, access, timing, or tolerance for loss. But they can copy the clearer habits, learn a valuable skill, understand how money flows through a business, build or own productive assets, avoid lifestyle inflation too early, and think in years rather than days. The final beat should be practical, not worshipful. Ask, what did this person understand before most people did? What asset did they own while that insight became obvious to the world? What risk almost broke the story? And what is the smaller version of that lesson that a normal person can actually use? The practical lesson is clear. Wealth at this scale usually comes from ownership in a compounding asset. The viewer does not need billions to use the lesson. They need sharper judgment, useful skills, better risk control, and the patience to build or own things that become more valuable over time.